powerful enough to be heard a city over. And tonight we're looking at what's left and what's next. Good evening. Thanks so much for being with us. Russ is off. We have a reminder for you, too. We're also streaming on the WKYC app. Tonight, we're learning just how intense that gas explosion was that shook a Twinsburg neighborhood. And beyond yesterday, crews are still on the ground, assessing that aftermath. And earlier today, fire officials gave us an update.
The concussion of the blast has taken out windows, siding, the soffits, some lights, doors. You see garage doors pushed in, and that was from the pressure from the blast.
At least 36 homes were affected, of varying degrees.
Well, the damage is catastrophic. Cleanup is just beginning on Hiram Lane there. And some families still don't know if or when they'll be able to return home. We do have team coverage for you tonight. Amaya Ward and Peter Fleischer both have been on the scene all day speaking with residents and officials. So, Peter, you were at today's press conference. Let's start with you. What are you learning right now?
Christy, just hours ago, officials telling us that the Public Utility Commission of Ohio and the state fire marshals will be the two agencies leading this investigation, working to determine how this gas leak occurred and why the ensuing explosion was so devastating. Of the two people who reported injuries yesterday, officials say both were very minor, and they've since been released from the hospital and they're recovering safe and sound at home this evening. As scary and dangerous and destructive as this incident was, everyone involved knows it could have been much, much worse. The destruction on Hiram Lane looks like something out of a movie. Homes burnt to pieces, blocks of houses with windows blown out. A mattress from the home that exploded sits charred 40 feet above the ground in a nearby tree. Fire officials still don't know exactly what ignited the gas leak gone wrong.
No, have no idea. It could be anything from, big things. It could be a light switch. It could be a sump pump. It could be anything. And we may never know the source.
Longtime resident Stephen Loop was at home with his son across the street when his neighborhood changed in an instant.
And all of a sudden I heard a boom. It was a little confusing. I didn't know what was going on. I kind of looked around and saw that our windows had been pushed in through the front. And then I looked out the window and saw fire everywhere.
First responders were alerted to the gas leak ahead of the blast, but were on scene just minutes before it went off.
There was no notice about that. So it just needed to find an ignition source and have the oxygen level to be just perfect, and away it went.
The debris cleanup alone will take weeks to complete. Glass, nails, boards of wood spread across thousands of square feet. But the damage done to the families inside the houses will last even longer.
The windows are all shot. It's knocked everything off the walls. It's knocked things out of the cabinets.
They don't know yet if their homes will stay standing.
Because we have to see what the structural engineers say to see if it's even a livable house.
But even in the face of destruction, perspective and gratitude shine through.
This is a miracle in itself. If you consider the 15 houses on this street, if you just consider 2 people per house, you're looking at 30 people right there. And who's home, who's not home.
And for Loop, that miracle isn't abstract. He experienced it sitting at home with his son.
I'm just glad no one got hurt, and I'm glad both of us are okay.
On Hiram Lane, the story isn't what's lost, but everyone who was able to walk away. Now, within just the last 90 minutes, we received a statement from Unity, the fiber optics company that hired the crews who did the digging yesterday. The company says, quote, "We can confirm our subcontractor was working in the area on June 25th when a gas line was struck. Based on our initial findings, we believe this damage was the result of inaccurate markings of underground utilities by a third-party utility locating service. We're cooperating with authorities as they conduct their investigation, and our thoughts remain with the Twinsburg Township residents who were impacted," end quote.